welcome back to our course Database Management System. So our today's topic of video is query optimization and equivalence rule. So in the last video we discussed about the query processing. We understand the concept of materialization and the pipelining. So today we are going to discuss about query optimization and equivalence rule. So query optimization we already discussed in the when we understand how query is being processed. So we know that query is being processed in three major steps: parsing and translation, query optimization, and query evaluation. So at that time we understand somehow what is query optimization and how it takes place. Now we are going to discuss the concept of query optimization and in its equivalence rule in detail. So first of all, we should know what is optimization. Why do we need optimization? So I already given you simple example. Same example I'm going to repeat over here. Suppose I want to go from one place to another. For example, I want to go from place A to place B. Okay, I need to move from place A to place B. So there are three routes are available to move from place A to place B. Route 1 will take 10 minutes, route 2 will take 15 minutes, and route 3 will take 20 minutes. So in this way, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and 20 minutes. So in that case, which route you will select? Obviously you are going to select route 1 because it takes less amount of time to reach from place A to B. So this is what a optimization means. We want to minimize our use of resources. Whatever may be the resources, that resource may be a time, that resource may be a any particular physical entity which you have to use. So we want to minimize the resources. That resource can be time. So in this particular case, our resource would be a time. Okay, so same way your query can be executed in n number of ways. As you know that one problem can be solved by n number of techniques. Maybe the case that technique 1 takes 10 minutes, technique 2 is going to take 15 minutes. So obviously you are going for technique 1 because it takes only 10 minutes to solve the particular numerical. So in that case your resource would be time. Similarly, one query can be processed in a multiple ways. It is not a case that I have written a particular query by using particular clause. I cannot solve this same problem by using another clause. Means I can solve it by using another clause also. So you need to find which one is the optimum. So in this case, how to find optimum in terms of time? Which query will take less amount of time, that query I am going to select. So this is what a optimization. So this is also possible in case of a query optimization. Means you need to find efficient way of executing a query so that resources can be minimized, and in this case resource can be a time. So let's understand what do you mean by query optimization. So query optimization is the process of selecting most efficient query evaluation plan out of the many when the query is complex. When your query is complex, it consists of n number of operation. So in that case there are n number of possibilities are there. Either you can replace this one operation with another operation, or you can make a change in their sequence. This is also possible. So you need to find efficient way, most efficient query evaluation plan. So again in this case we need to understand what do you mean by query evaluation plan. Query evaluation plan is nothing but a set of steps involved to execute the query. Okay, so this is what a query evaluation plan. So out of the n number of plans, you need to select one efficient plan which take less amount of time for its execution, and this is what a query optimization. And this query optimization occurs at a relational algebra level, because we have seen the query processing diagram. At that time we come to know that first of all you are writing your query in a high level language, then that query is converted to relational algebra by your parser. Your parser will parse this query and convert into relational algebra. So at the relational algebra level query optimization takes place. Again another thing is that every time you cannot expect from user to write a optimized query. So two types of two way of optimization can be there. Either optimization takes place at user level, or optimization takes place at a system level. So every time you cannot expect from user that user will write a optimized query, because if the user is totally new, he is a fresher, he is just beginner in case of SQL, so you cannot expect that user will write a optimized query. So in that case, your system is responsible for optimizing the query, means finding the most efficient query plan. So that can be done by your system. So query optimizer takes relational algebra expression as an input and produces efficient query plan. Query plan means what? Set of steps to execute a particular query given as an output. So optimizer takes relational algebra as an input and produces efficient query plan as a output, and then it's submitted to query evaluation engine, which use this plan to fetch the data from the database and provide it to user. Now let's try to understand the concept of query optimization with the help of example. Suppose a simple problem statement is there: find the names of all customer who have account at any branch located in Nagpur. So this query can be written in two ways. This is the first way, where what you observe. In the first way, you observe that first of all we are going to perform join operation, means join operation is performed between account and depositor relation, then join operation is performed with the branch relation, and then selection operation, and then projection operation. So in this way sequence of operation will takes place. But in the second query, see, it is a projection operation. By mistakenly here P is there, but actually it's a pi symbol. So in the second way, what is your observation? First of all, you need to perform selection operation over branch relation. Then whatever the output that you are getting, you are keeping it as it is. Then similarly, account relation is joined with depositor relation. Whatever the output that you are getting, that will be joined with this output obtained from this. And then after that, you need to perform projection operation. That means if you execute first query or second query, you will get the same output. Only amount of time required to execute query is different for query 1 as well as query 2. Now let's try to understand it diagrammatically. This is a query plan. This is query evaluation plan for query 1, and this is query evaluation plan for query 2. Sorry, this is query plan for 1, and this is query evaluation plan for 2. Now which one is efficient? This one is efficient or this one is efficient? So according to me, second one is efficient. Now I will tell you what is the reason. In the query evaluation plan 1, what is happening? First of all, you are performing join operation between account and depositor, then you are perform join operation with branch, and then you are performing selection operation, and finally you are going to perform projection operation. But in the query 2, first of all you are performing selection operation and simultaneously you are performing join operation between account and depositor. So in this case, what is happening? Suppose imagine the situation that in the branch table total 1000 rows are there, and out of on this branch table I am performing selection operation, and for Nagpur city only, just consider that only say 100 rows are there. Out of this 1000, only 100 rows consist of city Nagpur, and rest of the 900 rows consist of a city other than Nagpur. So in that case, what is happening? Filtering is there. Okay, in this case that only 100 rows remaining, but in this case it is going to join 1000 rows, and you know that join operation is a combination of two operations. What are they? Cartesian product and selection operation. And Cartesian product operation involves joining of or combining of every row of first table with every row of another table. So in this case, that much amount of row can be eliminated. Okay, the row which is of no use, that means the row where city is not Nagpur, that is eradicated over here. That's why in this case time is less, because in this case from 1000 I will ignore 900 rows. But this is not the case over here. 1000 rows will be considered over here because you are performing selection operation later on. That's why this query evaluation plan 2 is more efficient, because it takes less amount of time. Because in this case, first of all you are performing selection operation, simultaneously you are performing join operation. But in this case, whatever output that you are getting, its size is small as compared to this one, because in this case no eradication of number of row is there. So I can say that this is what a efficient query evaluation plan. So what is whose role it is to select this query plan 1 or 2? It is a role of optimizer. Optimizer is that component of your database which takes relational algebra as an input, produces n number of query evaluation plan, and out of the n number of evaluation plan it will select one as a final query evaluation plan and give it as a input to query evaluation engine, so that query evaluation engine can make use of this plan, retrieve the data and provide it to user. So this is how query optimization will work. So in short, what we understand, what is query optimization? It's a process of selecting one efficient query plan out of the n number of plans, and sometimes optimization is possible at both the level, at user level also and at the system level, but you cannot expect every time from user to write a optimized query. Okay, so this is what a query optimization. So in query optimization, what you are doing, in this case one more thing is there, you can replace one operator with another equivalent operator. So that thing is there. Generally we come to know about the commutative property, means a plus b equals to b plus a, both are the same thing. Similarly, there can be the thing that instead of using one operator, alternative things can be there, so that you need to find. So for that purpose we require a equivalence rule. Why do we require equivalence rule? In order to transform one relation into another relation. So optimizer use this set of equivalence rule to transform one expression into other logically equivalent expression. Logically equivalent means, just like that I have given a simple example, a plus b is equivalent to b plus a, both are same. So for that purpose I am going to use the equivalence rule. So your optimizer make use of a equivalence rule to transform given expression into other logically equivalent expression. Now let's discuss all this rule one by one. Now rule number 1, what is rule number 1? Conjunctive selection operation can be deconstructed into a sequence of individual selections. Okay, so before discussing these rules, first of all we should know, in the equivalence rule, theta, theta 1, theta 2 denotes condition, whereas L1, L2, L3 denotes attributes, and E1, E2, E3 denotes the relational algebra expression. So first of all, first rule is, here you can see conjunctive selection operation can be deconstructed into sequence of individual selection. So in this case, what is your observation? You have combined two condition and then you have applied on relational algebra expression E, but in this case individually you are applying first, second, this theta 2 condition is applied on relational algebra expression E, and then later on you will apply theta 1. So in this case combinedly you are applying, in this case you are applying one by one. So both are same, either you are writing this or this, both are same. Then selection operation is commutative. Commutative means what? Either you perform theta 1 operation, theta 1 condition, in this case first of all you are performing theta 2 condition and then theta 1, but in this case first theta 1 then theta 2. That's, and so both are expression are commutative. So here you can say selection operation is commutative in nature. Then only the last in a sequence of projection operation is needed, others can be omitted. So here you can see projection L1, L2, Ln. So in this case you can ignore this and you can consider only last expression. Then rule number 4, selection can be combined with Cartesian product and theta join. So here you can see selection operation and Cartesian product, and that is replaced by join, because we know that join is a fusion of two operation, one is a Cartesian product and second one is a selection. So this expression is just definition of theta join. So here also you can see. The next one is theta join operation are commutative. Either you are joining E1 with E2 or E2 with E1, both are same. Then you can say natural join operation is associative in nature. Associative property already you are aware about, a plus b in bracket plus c. So in this case first of all you are adding a with b then with c. So instead of this you can write, first of all you will add b with c, then you will add with a. So that you can say natural join operation are associative in nature. The next, selection operation distributes over theta join operation under. So here you can see this selection operation is distributed over each expression. Here you can see it is applied on relation E1 as well as on relation E2. Then projection operation distributes over theta join operation as follows. So here you can see if join condition Q involves only attribute from L1 union L2, then this expression you obtain. Then rule number 9, set operation union and intersection are commutative. Here you can see E1 union E2 is equivalent to E2 union E1, E1 intersection E2 is equivalent to E2 intersection E1, but set difference is not commutative. Means you can't say that E1 minus E2. It makes a difference. Means E1 minus E2 is not same as E2 minus E1. Okay. Then set union and intersection are also associative. Here you can see that they are associative nature. Then rule number 11, selection operation distribute over union intersection. Here you can see selection operation is applied individually on this. And finally you can say projection operation distributes over union. So here projection operation is distributed over each every expression separately. So these are the different equivalence rules. These are various equivalence rules that you can use in the process of query optimization. So in case of query optimization, you need to find equivalent logical expression, means equivalent expression which is logically same as that of other. So I hope you understand what is query optimization and what are the different rules that is used by query optimization. Thank you.